Now the exclusive beta server thing has happened. So what I'm talking about is basically 13 members or something around there are given the actual accessibility to join a beta server, but that is basically only privated only for us. And we basically get to try out anything that is basically exclusive, such as new things before everyone else gets to test it out, or things that basically we mostly get to talk about or just change. Really, it's basically your average beta server, but a little bit more depth into it, if that makes sense. So now one of the things we want to talk about which was of course the Yeti event. Now of course there is a Yeti event coming of course into the game. Here's the Yeti. Now this of course isn't the official thing right here in the footage. Obviously the Yeti does not have 300,000, well I hope not at least, officially HP. Mostly it's going to be toned down a bit, but we did play a couple of games against the Yeti, and overall it was pretty fun to play against the Yeti again, because it was of course a full year and we did get to beat it all the time, but it was just really fun. Plus the chillers had a little bit more of like what's it called, the reach of their freeze ability, so that was chaotic, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna get nerfed. But you know, the Yeti event was pretty fun. Now one of the things in the Yeti event that I did wanted to actually mention was the many things that are of course different. Number one is the fact that all ammo stations are gonna have the cooldown, of course, on what weapons or whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure on minigun you have like 3 refills, and for all the other guns you will have 10 refills. But here's the thing, every, I believe, 30 seconds or like a minute or something, I can't remember, but you'll see in the footage right here, you will basically be able to reload. So this is actually very good against basically weapons that have a ton of ammo. For an example, like the Tommy gun or maybe the flamethrower, I'm not too sure, but really like the Tommy gun, because those guns have a lot of ammo, especially like the minigun as well. But the thing is if you're running, like for an example, a shotgun or like the Sterling, you're gonna burn through ammo so much, and you have to wait for that cooldown to end for you to get some more ammo, so that's really bad. But either way, if you get like a really good gun like an AK or something like that, then it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. Now one of the things that I would recommend to use before the Yeti event even comes out, so you can get prepared for it, is of course the loadouts. So the number few primary weapons that I would highly recommend is of course number 1 Tommy gun, number 2 minigun, and I mainly say minigun 2 mainly because it has a ton of ammo in it and it does a crap ton of damage, plus with its rapid fire and everything else like that, making it a really useful and amazing gun. Tommy gun, minigun, AK-47, obviously. I'm pretty sure the AR-15 might do, or actually will do very nicely. Not too sure about the Sterling since it does a lot less damage, but I mean it does have a fire rate and a ton of ammo, so I guess that's fine. And then I believe that, maybe Gauss gun as well. And I believe that's it from the primaries. You mainly want long-ranged weapons to deal all the damage. And now for your secondary. This one is obviously either going to be RPG or the laser pistol, but I would more or less highly recommend the RPG, mainly because if there's survivors that are constantly getting chillered from the chillers, obviously you could just blow them up with the RPG and free them. Also, you could just use the RPG to damage the Yeti quite nicely, but mainly to use it to free your survivor friends who are stuck. And the laser pistol is just an extra ammunition. If you're running like a minigun, you have to wait for the cooldown on the ammunition. You could just use it and just laser the Yeti for a few hits or somewhere around there. But if you don't have any Robux or diamond weapons, just go for Python. Python is still a really good pistol. It's just the fact that it doesn't have a ton of ammo, so that kind of sucks. Or you could just go for like the Kimber or something. And then for the melees, this one is obviously going to be the Rake. The Rake plays a huge heavy role, mainly because of its ram ability, which you basically get to use to dodge the Yeti's attacks, from the snowballs to the basic ice, I guess laser beam attack, I don't know how to call it, and then finally his running at you and try to swat you with your with his ice bat. So yeah, you can use that weapon to basically instantly make a run for it and dodge his attacks, making it very nicely. If you don't have the Rake, then other weapons that I would recommend is like the Ham, so you can heal. And if you don't have any other Robux or diamond weapons, then just go for like, I don't know, a hammer, so you can free up what's it called, survivor friends, or just like I don't know, something else random. Oh, the baseball bat, so you can basically kill the chillers quite nicely. And then finally for the armor. Now there are two specific armor that I would highly recommend: speed armor and juggernaut armor. But mainly speed armor, since you can literally run away from the Yeti's attacks, chillers with ease if you do not have the rake, and also because it's just really useful, really. And the juggernaut armor, the only reason I recommend that is because if you have the rake, you could just easily dodge his attacks as well, and plus you could take a ton of damage with the juggernaut armor, so I guess it's fine. But I would mainly recommend light armor, easy speed armor, or medium armor, whatever it's called, or heavy armor as you could say, but mostly speed armor. Now the utility stick, these two can either be, of course, the soda or the candy cane. The candy cane is super good to use it instantly and to dodge, of course, the Yeti's attack, and to immediately get away and recover a decent amount of HP, while the soda is mainly good to, of course, recover a little bit of HP, but mostly to use the stamina to basically run away as far as you can, to dodge the Yeti's attack. So those both are really useful. And of course, you're obviously going to have the pipe bomb from joining the group, so obviously that could just be used to distract the chillers if there's so many around there, and chilling your friends. And then finally, the fenders, they don't matter at all because they for some reason do not hit what's it called, the chillers for some reason, but I think this might get changed, so I would mainly go for the gingerbread or the elf defender, because they can help you to take care of those chillers quite easily, mainly the elf. And now that you've gotten a loadout, we're going to be talking about basically, well, technically we already talked about the Yeti event. It was pretty fun and I can't wait to see it coming again. But one of the things I did want to actually talk about were the next up changes to the game. So there are two I mainly want to talk about, and the others I just want to keep it private because mainly, obviously, we don't want to spoil every single thing. But one of the things is the Banshee. The Banshee will have its health, or her health as you could say, increase from 1050 or 1550 HP to 350 or 1350 HP. And the reason for this is mainly because her claw damage is actually going to be reduced by 5 hit points, from 30 damage to 25 damage per hit. So yeah. And then her shriek cooldown will actually be decreased from 17.5 seconds all the way down to 15 seconds. And then finally, for some reason, the shriek effect duration will now no longer be 5.5 seconds but 3.5, which I believe it should be 4 seconds minimum most. And then finally, of course, she's given more new sound effects, obviously different ones to avoid copyright stuff. And then finally, the indicator where she is basically startled will disappear after 5 seconds, meaning if there's a dude across the map who set her off and you guys try to help him out, and after 5 seconds that indicator will be removed and you guys are like, wait, where is she, and then she could instantly appear out of nowhere, making a nice surprise attack like a ghost. Also, speaking of ghosts, literally fire damage, aka Molotovs or a flamethrower, will now have a 30% damage multiplier, meaning literally she is a ghost and just kill her with fire basically. So flamethrower, you get a 1-up against the Banshee. Next up is of course the shovel. Now the shovel actually increases its damage from 60 to 70 hits per swing. And then finally, the snowball, when you launch it from the snow shovel, will actually be increased from 5 seconds to 25 seconds. Now the reason for this is because, of course, the blinding effect is actually a lot more gruesome, and then the lesser chill for 5 seconds. Well, which basically what it means is when you use this snowball thing, of course it'll blind the infected, but it'll also give them like kind of a stun or the slowness effect from when you are chilled, or what's it called, basic attacks from a chill, you are moving kind of slow. I'm pretty sure that's what they mean, or the stunned effect when you're hit by a jump, whichever of those two. And you're basically gonna have that as a zombie for 5 seconds when you're getting hit by a snowball. After those 3 things, I'm going to be talking about my overall experience in the Yeti event, or basically just beta server exclusive event. And I would say it was pretty fun. It was actually really fun to see the Yeti event, to play escalation again, but it was just really normal in escalation. One of the things I did not necessarily like too much, and I don't want to point fingers obviously, but there was kind of a, I guess, expectations from the others saying, this should be doing that, or you're supposed to be doing this most of the time. And if you were to basically disobey them or just fail those expectations of theirs, then let's just say you're gonna be put on heavy fire for that. So overall, I do not really like the feature of communication too much, but maybe it'll improve in the future. But overall, I give this experience of the exclusive beta server event a possibly 8 out of 10. It was really fun because I was mainly loving the Yeti event. If it wasn't for that, then I would probably give this like a 5 out of 10, but 8 out of 10 mainly because of the Yeti event. So that's my overall review over the exclusive beta server event. This is what we were doing, and we're sorry that if you weren't selected as a beta server role member, and I'm sorry for that, but obviously you got to see what we did, and you should be thankful for that, obviously. But anyway, I hope you yeah, I'll just see you guys all in about 42 years, and have a great game.